Welcome. Thanks for joining me today, coming along on my solo overnight winter camping adventure. I'm back at the Hoist Lake's foot travel area. Gonna hike back into Byron Lake and set up camp there, chop some firewood, and test out my new sleeping bag and have a good old time, a winter solo camp. Take a look here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vehicles in the lot here. Did not anticipate this many people being here today. Heck, when I was here in May, there weren't 3 cars in the lot when I arrived. Before we get underway, I'll give y'all a look at my gear load. I have my dry sack on there stuffed with 2 sleeping bags, my tent, tarps, the 5-gallon pail here with some wood to split up for kindling, a bow saw, got my backpack with about 25 pounds worth of provisions and clothing and all the stuff you need to survive a winter's night in the woods. You look at the parking lot here, it's glazed ice, so I got my Glacier Grip ice crampons so I don't fall on my keister. I'll show you my little tow rig here. Yeah, that's my kid's old flexible flyer sled. Rather than spend 50 bucks on a real pack sled, I decided to repurpose this. Some eye bolts in the front of it there, attach some cord, got a harness here with some carabiners to hook to the belt of my backpack, and we'll see how it goes. I'll have 25 pounds on my back and about 30-40 pounds on the sled, and I'm hoping, because there's been a thaw, I'm hoping there's enough snow or at least ice on the trail where I won't have to pull this through dirt. We'll see. But I'm all set to go. All I have to do is get the pack on and harness up. So we're underway here, and I guessed right. The trail is really kind of treacherous and icy. It's frozen hard. It's got not too bad pulling the sled. It's going through this pretty good. I'm certainly not going to set any speed records. I don't know, can you see it back there? I just made it up the first hill. Phew! Not much, but try that with 25 pounds on your back and 40 pounds on a sled behind you. Onward. I'm going to stop here just for a minute. I'm going to set up a shot in a few seconds, but before I do that, I just want to point something out. My harness here, you notice that it's crossed like an X, and I have 2 lengths of PVC pipe here that my line runs through, and those are crucial for stability. The PVC pipe keeps the sled fixed distance behind you, so that on downhills it doesn't crash into the back of your heels, your legs, and the crossed harness there adds stability and tracking, keeps it tracking straighter than if those 2 lines just went straight back on either side. Alright, I'm going to run ahead, set the camera, and set up a shot. I was afraid that's what would happen. I mean, that's enough of that stuff. My tripod mount isn't that swift. So I think that'll be the last of the trail action shots. It's the first time I've used the sled in 2 years. And last time I used it, I made a special harness for it, but that wasn't going to work with the backpack that I have on now. So I just found a place to clip it into the backpack webbing. Unfortunately, I can't unclip when I'm in the pack. I can't reach it, so I have to take the pack off every time I want to unharness from the sled. So, bit of a pain in the butt. So that's the last shot. No more taking the pack on and off. Whew. Another climb here. Glad I'm only going a mile. Problems already. Come around that corner back there, and one side of the harness clipped out of the sled. I'm gonna have to redesign that. Well, I got kind of a decision to make. A little ways back down the trail, I found where all the foot traffic was headed to. There's a whole group of guys just camped back in the woods off the trail. They have a regular little tent or hammock city. They're all set up under tarps with hammocks. There must be, well, I counted 8 cars in the lot. There must be at least 10 guys there. But they just camped off the trail into the woods. And if you look all around here, the woods are nice and open this time of year. And there's firewood all around, which is a bonus. So I'm considering, I know if I go a little bit farther, I'll get to Byron Lake, and it's real pretty there, and I'll be all by myself. But I'll have to chase a ways for firewood, so this is an alternative I'm going to consider. Here's an appealing little spot I found. Up on the top of that knoll there. Problem is going to be getting up there with the sled because there's so much downed wood in the way here. Let's go a little further. Maybe there'll be better access. I think I made up my mind. This is it right here. There's some very appealing real estate on both sides of the trail here. Right out there onto that little ridge to my right, or over here to the left. It's a little rise with a bunch of oaks on top of it. Both sites look really appealing, and should be able to beat my way through the brush here with this sled. So I'm unhitched from the sled. I'm going to do a little reconnaissance, scouting back in there and up there. Well, what do you think? This is a pretty nice spot. Let's have a look around. This is off to the left of the trail. Do a panorama here. We are on top of a hill, and there is a pretty stiff breeze blowing, but nice commanding view, 360 all the way around. I can put up a tarp to cut that breeze. Let's go look on the other side of the trail. Well, this is the other spot I have in mind, but it's not quite as appealing. It's not, it's harder to get in. There's more dead wood. It's harder to get in. And there's really not a good pitch for a tent here. So let's go back to the other spot. Alright, let's get some shelter put up here. Daylight is waning, judging by the sun up there. Only got a few hours. I got the tent all set up. All I need to do is put on the rain fly, but I'm going to show you the modification that I did to my tent to make it a winter tent. This is my trusty 10-year-old REI Camp Dome 2 tent. It's basically a 3-season tent. But here's what I done to make it a 4-season tent. I made these covers that go over the mesh on the ends of the tent. They're architectural fabric, like house wrap they put on houses to weatherproof them underneath the siding. Cut and fit on each end. They fasten over the tie outs here to the frame, and left the top open for ventilation so I don't get too much condensation inside. I've used the setup like this 2 or 3 times already in the winter, and it's manageable. It down to about 20 degrees every time I've used it, and it doesn't get too damp in there, so it works pretty good. You have to put the rain fly on over it, obviously, and on the ends here I'll bake some snow up against there or something so the air can't blow in up underneath there. Well, there she is, all set up. I haven't got the tarp up yet. Well, I'm going to put a little windscreen on them trees back there. Help with the wind tonight. It's pretty windy up here. And you can see not much snow in the woods here. So I'm not going to be able to bank snow up against there. I'm just going to lay some, got lots of dead branches laying around out here. I'm going to just lay some branches up there to hold that windshield down. There, that should seal it up pretty good. See, my tent stakes I'm using in the frozen ground here, they're like 10-inch long galvanized landscaping nails. And if I could hit the dang thing on the head. Got the tent set up. I repositioned it so that my head would be at the high side. Was on quite a slant before, and I would be rolling off to the side all night long. But I got to get a ridge line put up on those trees there and get a tarp set up. It ain't pretty, but it'll work. It's going to block at least some of the wind. See how long I can sit here before the smoke blows in my face, like it always does. Well, I stopped in Hale, Michigan today for lunchtime. I had a bounteous lunch at a little diner there in Hale. Eggs and bacon and home fries filled me up. I felt like a pig coming out of there, and it was only about 40 minutes away from here, if that. I got here and I burned off all those calories in about 2 hours. Dragging my sled in here, setting up camp, chopping wood. I'm about to keel over, so I'm having a little before dinner snack here. Some cheese and hunter sausage. A little while later I'll let this fire burn down the coals and I'll boil me a pot of water and heat up my military ration dinner, meal ready to eat. Tonight I have jalapeno beef patties. Milford Butcher's Shop. They make the best hunter sausage. Oh my gosh. $9 a pound. But it's excellent. This one that I just had, half of it, and save rest for later. It's as big as a hot dog. Man. Garlicky, smoky, got just a little bit of heat to it. Screaming out for some crackers and beer to go with it, but I didn't bring any crackers and I'm saving my beer till later. I don't know about you, but I don't think there's anything more relaxing than sitting in front of a nice warm campfire, smelling the wood smoke, watching the blue smoke blowing away through the trees. There's a few flakes of snow falling right now. It's not too bad at all. Staying nice and warm so far in my East German surplus wool army pants and my United States Army wool shirt. Of course I have a nice thermal base layer on underneath it, but just sitting here, it's probably about 25, 28 degrees out, just sitting here in front of the fire. Feel pretty good. Not cold anywhere. Yep, that's just about perfect. Just about perfect. Tell me you wouldn't like to spend the night here. Cool, I didn't think snow was in the forecast for tonight, but just in the last 15 minutes it's picked up here. You can see on my tent here where it's already starting to collect. That'd be so cool if it snowed overnight and I woke up to like 3 or 4 fresh inches. Still snowing. Just a light steady snow. Probably got about an hour of light left, so I'm gonna boil some water here and cook up my dinner. Got my little canteen cup sitting over the fire there. Boil some water, heat up my MRE in a pouch, have something to eat while it's still light. Here's my meal ready to eat. The flameless ration heater, accessory pack, spoon, tropical punch drink. I think we'll skip on that tonight. Skittles for dessert, ketchup and mustard packets, beef patty grilled with jalapeno pepper jack flavor, wheat snack bread, nut raisin mix, and cherry blueberry cobbler for dessert. I think the beef patty and the bread it's meant to make a sandwich out of it. The wheat snack bread here actually comes in two little slices. I don't know what you want to call them. They're almost like crackers, but it makes it a whole lot easier to make a sandwich out of this. Yeah, we're losing light quickly here. Getting near dusk. So I got both the beef patty and the blueberry cobbler dessert, both of them warming in the cup here. So once I finish the sandwich, I'll be ready to start in on the cobbler. These should be warm enough to eat now. Whoa, can't put my fire out. I find this method of preparing them is a lot more reliable than the flameless ration heaters that come with the MREs. They don't always get that hot, and sometimes they just quit working. So this is always preferable for me for heating them. I don't know, does that look like supper or not? I opened that pack and all kinds of juice come out of it. Made a big mess on my bread there. It doesn't look too appetizing, does it? Well, as might be expected, the bread is rather dry. The meat, peppery, but most of the flavor's coming from the mustard. Not one of the best MREs. Oh, I don't know how I could do this, but I almost forgot the best part here that I've been waiting for all day. Can of Bell's Hop Slam. Pride of Comstock, Michigan, right there. Oh, that's good. Way better than this crappy sandwich. I'll make up for it tomorrow on the way home. I'm going to stop and have a thick, juicy hamburger someplace. Tastes even better in the woods in the winter. Well, I can tell there's jalapenos in that patty because my nose is running. Oh, that's about the only flavor there is in that thing. That was not good. Sorry I bought that one. But gotta eat. Gotta have calories. Gotta have protein. Gotta stay warm tonight. Try some of this cobbler now. Nice and warm. Steaming. That looks good, don't it? Not bad. It's got, what's it say? Cherry blueberry? Yeah, you can see cherries and blueberries, and there's like granola or something in there, oats, for the cobbler part of it. It's actually pretty good. I'm going to sign off here for the night. We are just about out of daylight. I don't even know how well this is going to film right now. Might try to do some shots of the fire or whatever. I can sit out here for a couple hours. My hands are getting cold now. My feet are cold. I'm going to build this fire up and probably about 8 o'clock hit the sack. So, see you in the morning. Good morning. Just woke up and it's already 7:15 outside, and show you what it looks like. Just the barest of sunrise color out there beyond the trees. Absolutely dead silent right now, not a sound. There's what's left of my fire after it burnt down last night. I gotta get out there and get it lit again. Cue the Beatles, here comes the sun. What could be more beautiful? The sun breaking through the forest. Alright, so I'll show you how I get my fire going here. This is a cotton ball soaked in Vaseline. Cheating with a lighter. A few minutes we'll have a good fire going here. I brought some pieces of soft pine from home to bust up and use for kindling, but it didn't split very well. So this morning I just got some of these maple branches that are laying all around, and one of them was already split. And I just started busting them up. Get all these fine little maple hardwood slivers. Here's another item you can use to start a fire. Crayons. If you got old crayon stubs laying around, you can bring them with you. You can make shavings with your knife and put those in with your kindling. Here's the little bit of snow that fell last night while I was eating and sitting around the campfire. Just a little dusting on everything. The inside of my little hooch. Go through all my sleeping system here in a little while after I've warmed some water for coffee and got some food in me. Some frozen Timbits. Always a treat, it says. Picked these up on the way up yesterday. Have a burst of quick energy this morning. Tim Horton style. Campfire's getting going. This really was an ideal site. There is so much campfire wood here, everywhere you look. And it's all maple and oak hardwood. Getting ready for breakfast here. Got my canteen cup on the fire. It's damn near ready. It's boiling. Probably don't want to get it much hotter than that. And I got insulated mug here with coffee and hot chocolate mixed in there. So I'm going to have like mocha. I got some yogurt and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich I made at home yesterday. Fire is burning right on the handle of my cup here. Think that water's hot? Oh, the perfect pour. The lid on here so I don't spill it. That would suck. Right then, breakfast. Everybody knows that one of the tenets of outdoor recreation is leave no trace. Obviously, I'm going to leave a trace here. The campfire, I'm going to let it burn down, and then I'm going to spread the ashes around. I'll cover it back up with snow and leaves, but there'll always be a trace of a fire here. But I will, this wood that I gathered up, I'm going to take and toss it back around randomly here, just so it looks a little bit more natural. Sun's getting up a little higher now up there in the trees. I think we'll take a little walk. Yesterday my original goal was to camp at Byron Lake. There's some regulation campsites down there, but I decided not to and chose this spot instead. But we're not that far, so I'm going to hike on down to the lake this morning before I break camp. You can see through some snow on the fire here. I don't want to walk away and leave the fire. By the time I come back, that should be just about dead. So here I am back down on the trail. This is where I got off yesterday. Can you see my camp? About 100 yards up in the woods there. Blue diamond on the tree here. That'll be my marker for when I come back from Byron. I could hear coyotes in the distance last night. I've walked maybe quarter mile from my camp, and here's some coyote tracks right in the middle of the trail. I don't know if these will show up. Right along the trail here. Oh, I've been walking about 10 or 15 minutes already. Seems like anyway. I don't remember it being such a trek back in here to Byron Lake. Gotta be getting close. Every once in a while I see the trace of cross-country skis on this trail. Yeah, there's Byron up ahead. Anyway, I pity the fool that chooses to cross-country on this trail. Oh man, there's a lot of up and down. Yeah, so there's Byron Lake, just a little pothole lake back in the woods. And up in this area are the regulation campsites. But I thought I'd follow this little side trail. When I was here in last May, I noticed there was a potential campsite down there, so I'm going to go check it out. A little bit harder going here too, because the trail is not trod at all, so the snow's a little bit deeper. Let's go down here. Now actually I thought there'd be guys that come to ice fish on this lake. But that appears not to be the case. Wow, solitude. Look at that. Beautiful. Over there, far corner shore, that's where I camped last year in May. I'm going to walk along the shore here. I'm sure this is frozen and I'm not going to venture out onto the ice. I'm going to stay within a few feet of shore. How do you like my steady cam work there? How different a place Michigan's North Woods are in the winter. In a way, I like the woods better in the wintertime. Such solitude, stark beauty, peace. Just look around here. No other people. In the summertime, you wouldn't be alone. There would be someone back here someplace along with you. Well, there is an actual regulation campsite here. There's a fire pit. Right underneath this old Widowmaker oak. Yikes. This is not a half bad site. Plenty of firewood back there in the woods. And it looks like the trail might continue on through the woods there to those sites on that other shore. I decided what I'm going to do is hike the whole shore all the way around the lake. Whoa, I'm working up a sweat. This is some rough going here. This is kind of a little protected bay sort of area, so the snow's deeper here. Takes effort. The critter went this way. Follow his tracks, or hers. Trail leads right into it. Nice little flat area right here. And not a regulation fire pit, but it's obviously been used. Looks like the trail goes back up and continues that way. Yeah, this would be a nice spot. So right here's where I camped last May, under these white pines here on the northeast shore of Byron. Just me and the hognose snakes. And that tree that's knocked over there, that wasn't knocked over then. I hung my food bag from that tree. There's the southwest corner. This was my view. Come a gust of wind and over she went. And it's really rotten inside. Boy, look at that. So nature is calling. And I know there's a little privy up here at the top of this hill. Somewhere back in these woods here. There it is. I wonder how cold the seed is. This way. Well, would you? It's time to get back to the camp, bust the camp up, and get out of here. Head back home, back to the real world. Made it back from my little hike. I reckon I probably walked about 2 miles, and burned up all the calories I consumed for breakfast, and tired myself all out. So I'm going to take a little break here, have a drink of water and a Cliff Bar, and then bust up camp. Before I knock my tent down, I promised y'all that I'd show you my sleep system, how I kept warm last night. I think it got down, it was predicted to get down to right around 20 degrees, and I'm here to say that I did not get cold last night. I wasn't toasty warm all night long, but I did not get cold. So here I'll show you exactly what kept me from getting cold. Starting on the top here, I have a cheap sleeping bag. It's a $20 Walmart bag, and I brought that along just in case. And I did need it. I unzipped it after midnight last night and used it as a quilt over the top of me. So underneath that, this is my newest piece of equipment here. This is a king-size sleeping bag called a ledge. It's rated for 20 degrees. It's a full-size envelope style bag. I can't sleep in a mummy bag anymore. It has a nice brushed nylon lining. It's nice and soft. The exterior is your normal polyester taffeta. It's a little bit thin as sleeping bags go. It's got a drawstring. It actually has a hood like a mummy bag, and it has a drawstring closure, but it's got plenty of room inside for me to stretch out and ease my aching bones. The biggest drawback of this bag is the zipper. There's only one pull, and this lining is so soft and flexible, and it always gets pinched in the zipper when you're trying to draw it up. And I have my little inflatable camping pillow there with the crazy slip cover Cindy made for it. Underneath I have REI camp bed, inflatable mattress. It's 3.5, but it doesn't really inflate that thick. And I have a smaller one, a lighter one, but I brought this one because it's thick and it's your main insulation from the cold ground underneath. So I bit the bullet. I was already hauling all this other junk. Might as well haul the big pad too. Underneath that I put automobile sunshade, reflective, reflect the heat. Any heat that escapes through here towards the ground, it gets reflected back with this. And then a second layer of protection is this space blanket, foil coated on one side. I put that over the whole floor of the tent. I had this space blanket for Lord knows. We got these as Christmas gifts when we were kids, 12, 13 years old. So 50 years ago maybe. I can't believe it's still in one piece. Anyway, it kept me warm last night. I did not ever get cold enough to shiver or be uncomfortable. And now I have to jam it, roll it all up and jam it back in the stuff sacks. Oh, and there it all is. That was 15 minutes of hard work getting all that stuff packed in there. That's the proverbial 5 pounds of crap in a 10-pound box right there. Wait, I got that wrong. 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound box. Yeah, that makes sense. Now I gotta jam them all down into my dry sack here and get that thing closed up. That's another wrestling match. Well, that's it for Solo Winter Camp 2018 Hoist Lakes. Well, I don't know if I dare try to walk and talk here. Almost back to the truck. Probably a quarter mile, third of a mile left. And just some thoughts wrapping up, conclusion. I've already had one mishap on the trail on the way back. This sled, this homemade Pulk sled does not track. Flexible flyers were never meant for pulling a load through snow. It does okay on ice, but any kind of snow depth, and especially crusty snow, it goes where it wants to. And my harness points became detached and the whole sled tipped over. I had to redo my rigging, try to tie some knots instead of using clips, carabiners. I think I'm going to abandon this idea. Just bite the bullet and buy one of those plastic shell sleds next time I do this. Overall, though, it's been a great experience. Everything I hoped for. It didn't get cold last night, so that part was good. I didn't sleep well, but then I never do. I don't even sleep well at home. But I fell asleep last night and slept for maybe an hour and a half, and then I woke up. And then every little sound I heard spooked me. After all these years of camping and being outdoors, I still get spooked by noises in the night. I guess that's just what city living does to you. You're quiet, heated and cooled, home, bedroom, dark, no weird sounds. Out in the forest, everything is amplified. It's right there. And even the rustling of the wind on my tarp and the sides of the tent, I imagine they were footsteps. Some creature was approaching. So I tossed and turned. I slept fitfully. At one point, I had a vivid dream that Bigfoot, Sasquatch, was reaching into the tent to grab me. I had to do some fast work to talk myself out of that. Anyway, I'm used to it. It happens every time I camp. It's not going to stop me. I'll be back again. So, approaching a downhill here. I'm going to have to put the camera away so I can concentrate on not falling over. So until next time, thanks for coming along. Sure enjoy sharing my adventures with you. I hope you enjoy watching the videos. Look at that trail. How'd you like to be walking on that? Man, am I glad I got my ice grips on. This is sketchy. Boy, I am so tired and sore right now. Oh my gosh. Never believe last weekend I hiked with my friend Norb 6.5 miles on the Waterloo Pinckney Trail in snowshoes. And boy, I'm twice as tired today as I was then. My back and shoulders are killing me from this pack. The sled, you barely notice it except when it's tugging and jerking around because it slides so easily. It's really not a load behind you. Of course, except when you're going up hills. But yeah, I'm ready to be back. Yay, I see wheels in the bumper. Looks like a Chevy Colorado. Oh, what a relief to get that off my back. And I got my car keys.